So I told you guys I went to a Tony Robbins seminar. I had some cool thing he did with Conor McGregor that I tried with him in the class that we had there, and it was pretty cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I think you could leverage it in different areas of your life. All right, I want everybody to really think right now with me of one thing that's going on in your life, okay, that you haven't addressed or that's bothering you. One thing right now that's on your mind that's been bothering you, and I want you to think about it.
Conor McGregor. Tonight's fight clock is brought to you by Motello. Proof for those with a fight experience. Cerrone in blue. Conor McGregor with a couple early shoulder strikes is in green.
Conor with a big shot.
So it's called channeling the four parts of yourself. And I'm not sure if we have any UFC fans on the call, but Conor McGregor met Tony Robbins when he was in a rough patch in his life. It's actually when he was getting arrested, drinking, acting out, not being himself, and about to lose everything that he built. And that's when he met him. Tony Robbins told Conor something when they first met and analyzed what was going on. And he said, you're acting out of the warrior part of your personality. And I want you guys to think, when you guys think of the warrior part of your personality, right? Like the warrior within you, the warrior, the person that if somebody were to mess with your family right now, who's the person that comes out of you? If somebody was to hurt your loved one, who's the person that comes out of you? If it was all on the line right now, who's the person that comes out of you? And that's your warrior. And the activity is, you know, there's not a lot of cameras on, so I don't think we could really do the activity the way I really want to, but I'd question you to either try it now or do it now. But they say point to the warrior within you. Like RJ, if I told you point to the warrior within you, since I could see you, where would the warrior be within you? If you had to point right here in the middle. It's exactly what Conor said. Right? It's right here in the middle. And he said the warrior is the part that protects you, that fights for you. The warrior is the part that nobody wants to see. And that's the part you've been acting from. And the warrior, what kind of sound does the warrior make in you? And Conor makes a crazy sound, you know? That's the warrior, right? And he says, well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes and think about that one thing that's been bothering you and the one thing you haven't been able to overcome. And I want you to have the warrior within you talk to you and say, RJ, this is the warrior speaking to you. All I want you to do and all I want you to remember and all I want you to focus on is blank. And what would the warrior say to the situation that's going on in your life that you need help with? The thing that you've been brushing off, the thing that you really want to overcome. If you told yourself, the warrior within me says, all I want you to do and all I want you to focus on and all I want you to remember in this particular situation is blank. What is the blank? And I want you guys to think of a circumstance in your life and I want you to write down what that blank is. That's the warrior in Conor. He said, that's great. Conor had the answer. His answer was to go out there and do what he does best, to kill for his family, to kill for himself, to kill for his legacy, to go out there and leave it all out there bloody in the cage. That was what the warrior told them about the situation. But there's other parts of your personality. And this is where Conor was messing up. And this is where a lot of us might be messing up in our lives, is we only act out of one part of our personality. I'm sure we all have a friend out there or somebody we know that's out of control. Either they get very upset and fight about dumb things, or they're very quiet and they barely talk at all. Like we all know somebody like this. And usually when somebody's like this, it's because they're only using one area of their personality. They don't realize there's 4 other areas of your personality that are missing. So he said, now I want you to think about the magician. That's the second part of your personality. Who's the magician in your personality? It's the person that, you know, is smarter than most. It's the person that, you know, turns a frog into a prince. It's the person that uses their mind. It's how you play chess, play things slow, get things done without actually, you know, putting them out there, playing a slow game, reading people's mind, acting like you're the dumbest person in the room when you're the smartest person in the room, or acting like you're the smartest person in the room when you're the dumbest person in the room. These are all the magician within you. If I told you point to the magician right now inside of you, where is the magician? Exactly. That's exactly where Conor pointed. And then he told him, I want you to make a noise of what the magician or how the magician would sound. And Conor made a noise like, you know, like a little evil laugh. And that was his magician in him. And then he said, the same exact situation that you're going through right now, I want you to forget about the warrior and ask yourself right now, the magician inside of you says, RJ, all I need to do and all I need you to focus on and all I need you to remember is blank. And if you guys think about something that's bothering you right now or something that you haven't been able to overcome or something that you brushed off to the side, you should get 2 different answers so far. What the warrior told you to do, Hugo, and what the magician tells you to do should be 2 different things. If this is about being successful in the broker world, maybe the warrior would tell me, you're a animal, go out there and hunt and be an animal and prove that nobody's better than you. Maybe the magician will tell me you're going to work double shift on Sundays and make up for the week while everybody else is enjoying their days and write 2-3 deals on Sunday. That's like my magician speaking to me. But that's like in the broker world. You could use this example for anything. You're going to get a different story and a different part of your mind working for you. So now you have 2 parts of your mind working where the majority of the world only functions on one part of your mind. You could imagine how expensive this advice was from Tony Robbins to Conor McGregor. If I had to pay $1,000 for the Zoom Zoom to hear it with him live. He said, okay, there's a third part of your personality, and that's the lover within you. Of course, if you could point to the lover within you right now, it'd be right at your heart. And he said the lover within you is the one that has the compassion, all the laughs that you have, all the joy you have. What are you doing this all for, Conor? What are you fighting for? And he remembered how much he loves the sport and why he's doing all this. And he said, make a sound of the lover within you. And then I want you to ask yourself, the lover within you says, all I need you to do and all I need you to think about and all I need you to remember is blank. And again, he got a different answer. His warrior told him to do something, the magician told him to do something else, and the lover told him to remember the process, what you're doing it all for. Remember how blessed you are, and remember this is what you've always wanted to do and you're finally doing it. Remember who you're doing it all for. And then he said the fourth part of your personality, the sovereign within you. The sovereign is the king or queen within us all. It's the wise one. It's like talking to your father or your grandfather or somebody that's older that has a lot of wisdom. What kind of things do they say? Well, who's the king or the queen within you, right? Not the one that acts off emotion, but the one that acts off of wisdom. Who is it and where is it if you had to point to it inside of you? And what kind of sound would the king make or the queen make inside of you? And then take that same exact situation or thing that you're thinking about that you got 3 different answers for already and ask yourself, Conor, the sovereign says all I need you to do and all I need you to remember and all I need you to focus on is blank. And again, if you do this activity the right way and you truly think deeply into the situation that's on your mind, the king within you or the queen within you should give you a different answer. Now, what happens when we start working with all 4 parts of our personality? It's like a car working on all 4 tires instead of somebody working on just 1 tire and 3 tires don't work, 2 tires and 2 don't work, 3 and the 4th doesn't work. Using all your tires together is going to get you to win the race. It's going to get you to drive stably, right? And it's the same exact thing when you use all 4 parts of your personality. But the next step to this is the magician in you starts talking to the sovereign in you. The sovereign in you starts talking to the warrior in you. And the warrior in you starts talking to the lover in you. And they start communicating with each other and telling each other how to react to certain things in your life, how to change things in your life, how to work together with these 4 personalities to overcome and accomplish what you really want to do. And I'll tell you guys, I'm not sure if you're UFC fans or not. I'm going to share with you this fight the next day after Tony Robbins and Conor were together and what happened in this fight. And you tell me if you see somebody that's fully focused and ready to go using all 4 parts of their personality. And by the way, the fight before this, he was being a complete goofball.
Artist holding a professional record, 21 wins, 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds, fighting out of Dublin, Ireland, presenting the former U.S.
So I just want you to look at his face and his calmness, working with the lover, the sovereign, the warrior, and the magician, all 4 actively working for this fight. And I'm going to fast forward it to show you the 1 minute this fight lasted.
Touch gloves, let's do it.
The tension in this building is undescribable. If you're not here, I'd imagine around the world as you're watching, it feels pretty tense wherever you may be. Donald Cowboy Cerrone, it is all in front of him here tonight as he tries to spring the upset against the prohibitive favorite, former 2-division champion, the notorious Conor McGregor. Tonight's fight clock is brought to you by Motello. Proof for those with a fighting spirit. Cerrone in blue, Conor McGregor with a couple early shoulder strikes is in green.
Conor with a big shot to start this off. Oh, Donald's nose is already bleeding. And it might be from those shoulders. Yes.
Get out of here with that.
Oh!
Early head kick from McGregor. Cerrone covering up.
That's the big shot.
Oh, Cerrone trying to survive. 30 seconds in.
Donald's covering up.
Oh, this is going to be it.
Team's going to stop it. That's it.
Too easy. Less than a minute.
And now look what he does after the fight. And this is the craziest thing that Tony Robbins was talking about, is instead of acting off and jumping on the cage and talking shit like he always does, look what he does after the fight.
Conor McGregor announces his return with about as many stops.
Who is that? Which part of him is that? I would say that's a lover within him that's still actively working.
Points as you could produce.
He broke his nose with his shoulder, and he pointed to his shoulder to show him that he did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
The shoulder strike.
Look at his nose. I mean, that is insane. From that shoulder strike.
Then he goes to his mom.
Just explosive movements in the clinch, slammed his shoulder into Cowboys, and that started the beginning of the end.
So if you guys know Conor and watched him before, I mean, that was his most humble battle that I've ever seen. And a lot of you would probably agree with that because all 4 parts were acting together. So the reason I tell you that is because from here on out, regardless if you're thinking about how you're going to be a successful broker, or if you're having issues in your relationship, you're having issues with a family member, you're having issues with a friend, you're having issues with your expenses, you're having issues overcoming a fear of something, run that activity with yourself. Talk to yourself from the king or the queen within and tell yourself, all I want you to do, all I want you to focus on, all I want you to remember is blank. Then go to the warrior within you and say, all I want you to do, all I want you to focus on, all I want you to remember is blank. And then go to the magician within you and say, all I want you to do, all I want you to remember, all I want you to focus on is blank. And then go to the lover within you and say, all I want you to do, all I want you to remember, and all I want you to focus on is blank. And I want you guys to make decisions based off of all personalities that are calculated and using all 4 parts of your brain, soul, body, mind, and hearts. Because when you use all 4 parts, that's when you make the best decisions. And I think that goes all the way back to Derek and what he was telling us. He acted within the warrior within him. I spent so much time on this. I did all this work. I can't believe this happened. The warrior wants to deny it. The warrior wants to leave it. But his magician would have said, no, 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 Derek, you already put in all this work. Do you really want to throw it away at the last second? The lover within him would have said, no, no, no. You don't know what this lady's been through, what she's experienced, why she is the way she is. Maybe she's been screwed over before. Maybe she shops because she had a tragic experience. The king within him says, no, no, no. You're smarter than that, Derek. You're going to learn from this failure and you're going to make sure something like this never happens again. And if it does, it was goddamn out of control. And I think that's a perfect segue to end this thing. So thank you guys for your time today. I appreciate it. Next week, hopefully we'll get some in-process and suspense things. Let me know if you guys need anything and finish the week off strong.
It might be from the shoulder. Yes.
Get out of here with that.